Love stories have a way of staying with us, don't they? Some end with grand celebrations, others with quiet goodbyes. But the ones that truly touch our hearts are those that remain beautifully incomplete, like pages torn from a book we desperately want to finish reading. This is the story of Arav and Meera, two souls who found each other in the most ordinary of places, yet created something extraordinary together. Their love story didn't unfold in exotic locations or through dramatic gestures. Instead, it bloomed quietly in the corner of a university library where dreams are born and futures are imagined. Picture a young man, Arav, sitting at his usual spot by the window on the third floor of the central library, books scattered around him, notes covering every inch of the table, and that familiar look of determination mixed with exhaustion that every student knows too well. He was pursuing his engineering degree, but his heart secretly harbored dreams of becoming a writer. Every evening, after finishing his technical assignments, he would pull out a worn notebook and scribble stories that came to him like whispers in the wind. It was on one such evening that Meera walked into his life. She didn't make a grand entrance, there were no dramatic moments or love at first sight cliches. She simply sat at the table across from him, opened her literature textbook, and began reading. But there was something about the way she held her book, the gentle concentration on her face, and how she occasionally smiled at whatever she was reading that caught Arav's attention. Days turned into weeks, and their silent companionship became a routine. They would nod politely when they arrived, share the occasional smile when one of them dropped a pen or rustled through pages too loudly. The library became their unspoken meeting place, a sanctuary where two dreamers could exist in comfortable silence. The first real conversation happened over a cup of tea at the small stall just outside the library gates. Arav had noticed Meera struggling with a heavy stack of books and offered to help. As they walked together, she mentioned how much she loved the stories of Premchand, and Arav's eyes lit up. Here was someone who understood the magic of words, the power of storytelling to transport you to different worlds. Their conversations flowed like rivers meeting the sea. Meera was studying literature, dreaming of becoming a teacher who could inspire young minds to fall in love with books. Arav shared his secret ambition of writing novels that would make people laugh, cry, and think. They discovered they both loved the same authors, had similar thoughts about life, and shared an inexplicable understanding that felt both new and ancient. The chai stall became their second home. Every evening after library hours, they would sit on the wooden benches, sipping tea from small glasses, talking about everything and nothing. Ara would share snippets from his stories, and Meera would offer insights that made his characters alive. She would discuss the books she was reading, and he would listen with the kind of attention that made her feel truly heard. Months passed like pages turning in a favorite book. Their friendship deepened into something more beautiful, more complex. They never officially declared their love, but it existed in the spaces between their words, in the way they looked at each other when the other wasn't watching, in the comfortable silences that spoke louder than any confession.
But life, as it often does, had different plans. Meera's family decided to move to another city. Her father got a job transfer, and suddenly their world of shared dreams and evening conversations was about to end. They both knew it was coming, yet neither wanted to acknowledge the approaching goodbye. Their last evening at the chai stall was filled with unspoken words and unshed tears. They promised to stay in touch, to write letters, to not let distance change what they had built together. But deep down, they both understood that some stories are meant to remain incomplete, like beautiful songs that end mid-note, leaving you humming the melody forever. Years have passed since then. Arav still visits that chai stall sometimes, sitting on the same wooden bench, holding the same small glass of tea. He became the writer he always dreamed of being, and in every love story he writes, there's a little bit of Meera. She lives in his characters, in the gentle way they smile, in their love for books, in their dreams of making the world a little more beautiful. He often wonders where she is now, whether she became the inspiring teacher she wanted to be, whether she still thinks of their library conversations and chai stall evenings. Sometimes he imagines he sees her in crowded markets or busy streets, but it's always someone else, someone who just happens to hold a book the way she used to, Their love story remains beautifully incomplete, like a poem with the last verse missing. And perhaps that's what makes it so precious. In a world where everything demands closure and clear endings, Arav and Mira's story reminds us that some of the most beautiful things in life are the ones that stay with us precisely because they never truly end.